Another beautiful day to go and get it. What's going on, y'all? It's Jeremy Harris with Concealed Window Tinting, and today I want to give you a rundown on the build we just finished, the 2021 Polaris RZR Turbo S. For the ones that don't know, I actually started in fabrication, like building suspension parts and doing air ride and different stuff like that. Window tint wasn't my first choice, but it ended up being my main choice because it's clean work. But that doesn't take away the fact that I'm still fully capable of doing things outside of window tint. Some people know that, some people don't. Obviously, the ones that know that, I do work for them on various projects all the time. Some of the parts on this thing are one-off. They don't make some of the stuff that I put on here. Again, just to kind of give people a rundown on what was done, how we did it, why we did it, and to showcase the overall build. So let's jump in. So as I mentioned in the beginning, this is a 2021 Polaris RZR Turbo S with the dynamic active suspension. I honestly did not even know that side-by-sides came so advanced. This thing's got navigation. I mean, it's absolutely insane. But one of the first things that we did to this thing, and probably one of the things that stands out, are wheels and tires. These are 35 by 10s on a 22-inch wheel. The tires and stuff already came mounted. Of course, I didn't build the wheels, but it is an add-on. We did do the calipers. Because this already had some black and red accent, we really wanted to keep that black and red theme, but not overdo it, if that makes sense. Some people, when they build stuff and they're trying to incorporate colors, sometimes you can incorporate too much of another color and it kind of look gaudy, in which the amount of red that we kind of accented on this thing further doesn't take away from it at all. So we painted the calipers red, which looks really, really good. The tender springs. So a lot of times when people do these, they'll do a bracket lift or a tender spring upgrade, or a lot of guys now are running what's called portals. We chose not to go with the portals on this particular one. We did do it on his last one. Those things are just so high maintenance. I mean, they serve their purpose, but they are high maintenance, in my opinion. So instead of doing that, we did the tender spring upgrade, which I believe RZR makes the tender springs, and we'll try to link where you can get those tender springs from. RZR, I'm pretty positive, is the company that makes them. But just the tender spring upgrade gives this thing the lift that we were after. That way, and the wind's gonna blow my door shut. That way we got wheel clearance, don't have to worry about catching the fender. Didn't have to do a bunch of add-ons as far as that. These automatically come with wider suspension because it's the Turbo S, if I'm not mistaken. So we just needed to bring it up a little bit for the bigger wheels. Another really cool feature that was added to the RZR, and it's blatantly obvious, is the cage. Now, Polaris typically come with like a really top-heavy, gaudy-looking cage. One thing I love about my buddy, man, me and him have a lot of the same taste, if you will. Like, we like things to be in proportion, and the cage that comes factory on these things just looks terrible, in my opinion. So we went with a cage from ABF Fabrication. I'm not 100% sure where ABF is out of, but we're gonna link their website in the description. ABF fabricated the entire cage and custom powder coated it just for the Turbo S, which is amazing. I think it just, I don't know, it brings everything back, you know? They also provided the front grille, and they also produced the windshield. The only thing that they didn't do, and in the event they see this video, I can almost guarantee they'll start doing it. The way that they put the buttons here with the red backdrop in the ABF, the windshield was open. So this red piece here wasn't actually there. So, nor were the buttons. But I wanted to tie everything together because the Rogue bumper has the stainless steel buttons. The grille had the stainless steel buttons. And I felt like the windshield needed the stainless steel buttons. So we did the red backdrop up top and put the stainless steel buttons on that just to tie everything in up front, which I think was a great move because otherwise it looked like something was missing, you know, which I think it turned out amazing. One of the other things that we did was added some different speakers, which are the Kicker KM series, which have the LEDs. Obviously the speakers with the LEDs has the red backdrop in the speakers just to kind of tie everything back in with the black and red. Those speakers were actually way deeper than the factory MB quartz. So I handmade some pieces to kind of make them look like they belong. Sometimes people will go too far in customizing stuff. And when I build anything, number one, I want it to last. Number two, I need it to be like durable, rugged, you know. I mean, these things are made to be ridden. And, you know, I've seen people make fiberglass pods and paint them and spray them and they're gloss and they're beautiful, don't get me wrong, but they're very easy to scratch. And in my opinion, in order for you to enjoy what you've built, it needs to have some durability to it. So these pieces that I made were actually sprayed in a bed liner just to waterproof and just kind of give them a rugged look. If you bump into them, if you scrape them, if you ding them, it's fine. It's not gonna be the end of the world. You're not gonna have to pull the pod off and respray it or anything like that. Like it has durability, which is what I'm after. Like, it's cool to build something and it'd be pretty and nice, but if it's pretty and nice and you feel like you have to keep it on the shelf, that's no fun. So anywho, moving on around to the back. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, we did upgrade the factory amp. The factory amp in these, again, no offense to Razor, but it distorts really quick. So we did go with a JL Audio 280 by 4. I think it's the MXH 280 by 4, which we integrated into the ride command. That way we could get more power to the speakers, make it a little louder and clearer for sure, because like I said, that factory MB quartz stuff, it just distorts really soon. My customer was, I call him a customer, but he's my guy, you know. But for the video, I'm gonna call him a customer. He wanted to, so in North Carolina, we can make the side-by-side street legal, in which this one has a full street legal kit on it with integrated things up front. We'll make it that way. I'll show you all that in just a second. But one of the things that he brought to me was, I don't necessarily want my license plate mounted to the bike. I would like to be able to remove it at will. So with that in mind, I put a plug back here in which he can plug the license plate up in the event he's night riding or going down the boulevard. And I made this piece removable. So it just slides out. You can put it in the cooler or do whatever you want with it. Now it just looks like a normal side-by-side, no license plate. And then this piece literally just slides right back down, just as easy, and plugs back in with a 12-volt plug that I put right there on the backside, which was ideal. Again, that piece, it was fab. You can't go find that piece, which is cool. Another thing that is one-off on this that's not on it currently is the enclosure. We did have a custom enclosure built for this. I will have to link in the description who built the enclosure. He's on Facebook. I did have to build templates special for this cage, ship him the templates, and then he made the enclosure, and it's also tinted. Obviously, it's summertime here right now, but with winter in mind, we did go ahead and do a heater kit on this particular one. The majority of them that I've done, we've all done heater kits on them. The one thing that makes the heater kit on this one unique is when you replace the cage, it tilts the windshield back so much that the actual heater kit that they send, you can't put the vents in the place where they would go with that kit. So on this one, I actually had to fab custom defrost that runs up behind the ride command and blows on the windshield. I actually drew out the vent, created a template, and my buddy Zach over at Olive Hill Welding put it in the CAD system and cut it out of some stainless. He's always looked out for me whenever I have an idea or something that I need custom cut. I text Zach and he hooks me up. So thank God he knows what he's doing, because it turned out exactly how I wanted it to turn out. Brother, thank you so much. And then I mentioned earlier about the street legal kit. So the fangs up front are what's called switchbacks, which they'll turn yellow and then back white, both of them left and right. We did do 2 sets of rock lights, seeing as this is a 4-seater. This bike is long, and I felt like one set of rock lights wouldn't illuminate the way we really want to illuminate. So we did custom mount 2 sets of rock lights per fender well. So it lights up really cool at night, which is amazing. Obviously tinted the windshield. Window tint is what I do. We put a hybrid 50%. You can't tell without the enclosure on, but with the enclosure on, the windshield looks pretty dark. It's pretty dope. Let's see. I believe that's pretty much it, other than the bench seat upgrade. So these are Aces Racing. I just want to make sure I plug everybody, because like, it's an amazing product. It looks great. I want to make sure that everybody that made or like their products get shouted out. So Aces Racing is who produced the seats. These seats are dropped with Lone Star brackets. So not only do you got upgraded bench seats, they sit just a tad bit lower and they tilt back a little bit, which gives it like a cool vibe. You know, typically you get in the car and you have to let it back. These are already backed. The Chupacabra Mirror, so they don't make a bracket. They make brackets for this cage, for mirrors that go up there, but they don't make a bracket that tucks the mirror up out of the way. It kind of hangs below. Again, we're kind of trying to keep everything as sleek as possible. So I custom made the bracket for that Chupacabra mirror, just so we could tuck it up and away. In which, like I said, I'm very particular about, if you do build something for a project, it shouldn't look like you built it. It should look like it came that way, which is how I try to do anything and everything that I do. The first thing I want people to think is, did you buy it like that? Did it come like that? No, it was handmade, hand thought of, all that good stuff. It does have a winch and the Rogue bumper, as I mentioned before. It's so many little extras on this thing. So ABF did incorporate the Lightbar, but they were awesome and went ahead and incorporated the Lightbar on the cage, ran the wire through the bar, very, very clean, which is a plus, because a lot of times you have to go back and add these and put the brackets on top, whereas this one is sleek and incorporated in the cage, special for that Lightbar, which again, everything just flows, which is exactly how a build should look. You should look at this thing and be like, did it come that way? Of course it did. Other than that, man, I think that's about it. I'm sure I'm missing something because we did so much to this thing. But I think it turned out amazing. It turned out really good. I think if I was gonna own a Polaris RZR, just seeing how this one turned out, and I've done some other ones that, you know, didn't go as in depth as this. I think if I was gonna own one, it would definitely be something like this. This thing is sweet. It catches your eye. It's almost like driving a convertible down the street. Seeing as it's street legal, it's really cool to get it out on the road and just enjoy it. Of course, these tires don't necessarily like pavement because they're so knobby, but all in all, man, it was a really, really cool build. I think at some point we will go back and add some rock sliders. With the way everything's been production-wise, I think they're like, the company that produces the rock sliders are just way, way, way behind, so we weren't able to obtain those quite yet. But overall, I think it turned out really, really good. Really good. Well, that about wraps it up. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We're gonna get this thing back in the wind. I need some wind in my hair, and my daughter's hot and she wants something to eat. So I'm out. Peace. Does this thing got air conditioning?
Scared money don't make money, step acting timid. Cause closed mouths don't get fed, you gotta get it. I'm on the grind, hard work really pays off. Until the day it does, I ain't taking no days off. I'm never stopping, you know I'ma stay committed. All the time, I'm never gonna waste a minute. I'm never quitting, you know I'm in it to win it. When it's all said and done, I'ma be the realest that did it.